Hi, everybody. This is the third video of the series, and we're still talking about conditioning and how conditioning causes health issues. So, I'm going to now pick up conditioning from the family. So, what really is the role of our family in basically creating our health issues? And we're very familiar with it when we go to a conventional doctor. He'll say, okay, who's got, let's say you've got a heart attack, let's say you've got a heart issue, or let's say you've got headaches, or let's say the normal thing for people to ask are bone issues. People will ask you, who in your family's got bone issues? Who in your family's got this heart issues before you? And like I asked you before, go ahead, create a whole profile and see who could it be belonging to. This is just to see how your family actually has a part to play with your disease, and how maybe the something happened to them back in time, which became the new pattern and which you're following. So we're going to look at the network within the family. When I look at network within the family, I mean to say your brother, sisters, your mom and dad, their mom and dad, their brother, sisters, their mom and dad, and their brother, sisters. So an extended family, like how many people are behind you. So unlike what we believe that our family is our children and just us, our family is actually made up of number of people who have an influence on us and on our life. So it's literally like as if we are put in a jelly-like substance. We are in a matrix. We are many scientists have also called it the field, wherein people are becoming increasingly aware that there is interdependency between the family and the individual. And when we shine a light on our family history, we can pick up so many things that we had never seen before. We just take them for granted. Even how we look. I've often heard someone say, hey, you look like your father. And yeah, I look like my father. So could it be possible that I'm carrying his conflicts and someone looking like their mother? Now, we can call it genetics, which definitely makes a difference and is responsible for the way we look. But could it be possible that the person that we look like, we're also carrying their stuff within us? Just a thought. So let's look at a family tree and let's look at a normal tree and see what does this mean. When we're looking at the roots of a tree, we're looking at our ancestors. Ancestors again would mean my mom and dad, my mom and dad's mom and dad, their further mom and dad, their brothers, sisters. Each one of them has an impact on our life. So even if we haven't met them, even if like if you look at if you go through the video that we had done before this, I did speak about Isabel Mansoy, who spoke about how the conflict goes in hereditary and it goes down in the generations. So now we are going backwards and looking at all our ancestors, mom and dad, their mom and dad, their brothers, sisters, where did they come from? What was their, and sometimes even when I'm tracing them back, my genealogy or looking at my tree, it's very, very difficult sometimes to trace what is happening. But it's also extremely fascinating to know why this is important. I still remember as a kid sitting down in a history class and completely uninterested. And if the history of the country is important, to trace back as to why a country became what it became and how someone, why the countries reacted in a certain way. If you look at Estonia, how they got their freedom by just singing, and they created the biggest human chain, and they got the freedom for themselves. You look at India and Pakistan, it's got a history. You look at Germany, it's got an history. So when we are looking at the history of the countries, then history of the rulers, something that we missed out and that should have been, we should have actually looked at, or uh, would have been our own family tree. And so your family tree is extremely, extremely important. So let me put it like this: the whole tree is your whole family. The roots of the tree are your ancestors, even people who teach you, your resources, what have you studied. And the top part, the branches which are there, signify you, your children, and these are the, and these leaves and fruits become really important. Why is that? Because the leaves are the ones which are going to do photosynthesis and make everything that the roots are giving the water and reaching it up, and they are making the tree look nice and green and beautiful. The fruits are literally like the fruits that we have got after the ancestors have worked so hard. So it's like literally the roots are pulling up the water, it's going up, and then you're having these beautiful leaves and beautiful fruits which everybody is enjoying. So the fruits and the leaves are basically the children of the family. The tree is a whole tree by itself, and the roots are our resources and our ancestors. Now, if we start looking at our family like this, we'll probably stop looking at it and saying, okay, I have my mom and dad, and that's about it, or brother or sister, because there is so much more in depth into this. I wanted to bring back the concept of a pregnant lady, and a pregnant lady would have, um, let's say, a baby inside her. So I'm just going to use this. Let me use this pen. And let's say the baby is right inside. The baby's head is down, and baby's inside like this. Now the baby will have ovaries, and these ovaries will have small eggs, provided it's a baby girl. Now this small eggs inside is the next generation. It is maybe it's a unconceived baby. So this is actually the baby of the future, of later. And this is the baby that's going to come out. And this small eggs, or they're called the germ cells, will, when the baby grows, will actually, how do you say, get conceived and create a child. But what's fascinating, already we have this generation, and the mother. So the mother is first generation, the baby inside is the second generation, and the ova inside is the third generation. So it's very important that we look at 3 generations before us and 3 generations after us. So let's go to the next one. So I was just explaining the ova and the ovary, and this, if we were to imagine this to be the ovary, let's look at it. And every month, one ova is thrown out. These eggs that she picked up, let's look at the video once again. That one, this could be you inside the mother's womb. This could be you, which is the germ cell, which is already known its grandmother. So if your grandmother was 18 or 19 years of age, when she conceived your mother, you were already present inside her. In the form, you already knew your grandmother through your mother. And that's where you also, it's fascinating how people have such a strong bond with their mother's side of the family. So in the families, the networking is so strong that it almost is considered as an independent individual by itself. Let's look at this family. Look at the way they are engrossed with each other. They seem to look at each other. They seem to care for each other. And even the dysfunctional families, they, it's like my family, whether it's functional or dysfunctional, it's my family. It gives you a sense of belonging. Even the families, like I said, which don't give you a sense of belonging, or let's say it's very dysfunctional, yet your family has such a strong matrix on you, like I've already explained. You're already inside, you already have foundations of your bonds already created with your family. And the family structure is extremely important, which is why it becomes very important that our relationships we need to look at. If we ignore our relationships, if we ignore our relationships with our mom, with our dad, with our brothers, our sisters, we're going to have further problems. So with when we create our family, so again, this is a pattern that you might have dysfunctional relationship with your mom, let's say. Then we need to look back and see, did mom have a good relationship with her mom? Maybe your mom didn't have a good relationship with her mom either. And then we trace back, oh, she doesn't have. Then we go further back and see, did your mom's mom not have good relationship with her mom and with her mom? So you can actually trace back and see that it's so interdependent, it's so interconnected, it's so interwoven within each other. So whatever happens in our life, however kind of relationships we are forming, like I've often heard in families, oh, there are two sisters, one sister always goes abroad, one sister stays in India. Now this has been happening maybe for generations altogether, and nobody ever questions why that is happening. We only look at the pattern and think it's happening. There is nothing random happening in the world. Why is that happening? Why is that interconnection so important? Why is it that one child is constantly going out and one child stays at home and randomly gets picked up, or is it decided? What is going on? So just giving an example there. So, like I said, we are not ourselves alone. We and our children, basically, our children are the fruits and the leaves. Then we are there. Then the roots, we become their roots, and our roots are our parents. So when we are sitting down like this, having a lunch or dinner together, we give people this security of celebration. What happens in the families gets continued as celebrations. It goes further, and it goes into deep into our roots. So let me give you again an example over here. Grandparents went to leave their granddaughter uh, uh, to their to reunite the family, to reunite her with their son and their second daughter-in-law. And it's a celebration. They should have celebrated. It was a family union where people should have been happy. But his wife, that's his second wife, was not very happy about getting this child back into her life. And furthermore, I believe that the both of them did not get treated well. On the way back, um, after leaving the child, when they were coming back, grandparents met with an accident, and both of them um, basically didn't survive. Now, celebration can get converted into something that's really not nice. And this can then start a trend in the family where um, every time there's a celebration, something happens and it turns out to be a mourning day. But if people are, and when you start looking at what's not happening in your family, what doesn't feel normal, go have a look and you will find, and when you start tracing back, it's extremely fascinating journey to find why of uh, why the families are behaving the way they are behaving. Let's go further. we not only carry all the experiences of our ancestors, and these experiences, we don't segregate. We don't say, oh, I will only pick up the good experiences. No, no, no. We pick up the good experiences, we pick up their bad experiences, we pick up their successes, we pick up their failures, we pick up what they felt, we pick up their diseases, we pick up their symptoms. And because we have picked up their experiences, we have also picked up their beliefs, their value systems, and we are also carrying the experiences in ourselves, because there's so much that has already got passed on to us through their traumas, through the sperms, through the ova. The experiences that are most important are usually those of the parents, and then the grandparents, and then the great grandparents. Like I explained to you, the three generations before you become really important, or the three you need to look at your parents, you need to look at your grandparents, and then you need to look at your great grandparents. I apologize. In the family, all these events are recorded. It's like as if we have a big um, disc on which we are doing this recording. Um, and the recording is of everything that's happened. And some of these bad experiences which have happened, they want to heal, they want to get okay. And the only way they can get okay is by passing these bad experiences or unfinished, unhealed experiences onto the children, because now they can make an attempt with new resources. Maybe those resources were not present during our grandparents' time, but maybe we can use these resources and do something meaningful about it. So it's really, really important for us to dig into our families and find out if there were any tragedies that happened. We can often find that certain families at a certain age, after a certain age, things do not function at all. Job losses may happen at the same time. People may migrate at the same time, at the same ages, similar ages, or in the similar stage of their life. Uh, it's really, really important that we confront the unhealed issues and heal them. So I hope you heal yourself by looking at your ancestors and looking at the wounds which have not healed in the genealogy or in your ancestors, and bring back that balance into your family, which is very much required so that you can have a better and fulfilling life. Thank you. Thank you very much, and keep watching.
Help Talks are daily health-related talks held at Health Education Library for People, Mumbai, India. For more information visit www.healthlibrary.com. Subscribe to Help Talks channel. Be better informed about your health.